I'm here at Dakucon with
RedVonix.
and I saw you guys have some pretty cool games here. Tell me about your game studio.
Well, Drunk Robot Games have been around for a hot minute, about 6-7 years now, working on some various games. We're working on a game a while back called a Potato Tail, which is still in production. We'll talk about that later. But here, I got two games I'm showing off. We got Runic, which is a visual novel puzzle game, and Santa Special Delivery, the only game you get to shit down chimneys as an angry Santa Claus.
That's awesome. I did have the chance to play Runic. Let's talk about that. So when I started Runic, I hit start on it. Right away, I was prompted to choose my color scheme, which was pretty cool. Tell me about that.
So I think we are the only puzzle game out there that actually lets you choose a color scheme for people who are colorblind. We do a lot to make sure we can support accessibility in games, and it was one thing we recognized, in a puzzle game especially, that it's very difficult for people who are colorblind to play them. So when we're making this, we're like, how can we support that? And we said, well, why don't we just put in colorblind support modes? So we have 4 modes we support right now, and we have the ability to easily add more if we need to in the future. And I'm happy you were able to check that out, and it worked for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I am colorblind, so games, especially where colors are an essential part of the game, can be troublesome sometimes. But luckily in Runic, the shapes that you're working with are different enough. So I think this might be the best game to play as a colorblind person, even without colorblind mode. So that was very cool. So tell me a bit more about Runic.
So Runic, again, it's a visual novel-based puzzle game, and it has this story about sort of the world is ending because one day the sun rose and just never set again. And when the game starts, it's been maybe about a month and a half or so, which means the sun has just been baking everything. Crops are dying, the world is slowly ending, and you step in the shoes of the unnamed mortal, and you enter into one of the ancient temples trying to see, do the Celestials actually exist? Maybe they can help. And you reach out and no one answers. But then Ari, she feels sorry for you and does answer, which begins your journey across the land to find out the secret of the eternal sunrise.
Whoa, that is quite a bit of lore. That is awesome. I'm excited to play it. When is Runic coming out?
Runic will be out in Q2 2024 on PC, Mac, and all game consoles. So no matter what you got, you can play it.
Nice. And you guys do Steam, right?
Yeah, we're going to be on Steam. Well, we should also be on GOG, Epic. Pretty much, if you can access it, as long as it's not a phone, we'll be there.
That is awesome. I recommend Runic. We're going to put the links to that down below. And I noticed that the voice acting is amazing in Runic. Tell me about that.
So, I'm friends with Warkey over there at Ascendant Animation, and I was chatting with them. They were checking out the game. They're like, you know what this game could really use? Voice acting. I'm like, oh my God, you're not wrong. So thanks to them, they're able to bring us an amazing voice cast with individuals like Bonnie Gordon, who, she's famous for doing things like Star Trek and Mega Man, a bunch of other big titles. We have Sean Chiplock, who you might recognize as the Deku Tree. He actually plays our villain in the game, Helios.
Wait, really?
He does.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. We have a great voice cast thanks to Ascending Animation, who are also here at Dakucon. Make sure you say hi to them.
Wow, that is very cool. And I am excited about your other game over here. Tom Farrell, our cameraman, was lucky enough to play this. What's going on with Santa?
So Santa Special Delivery, which is available right now on Steam. You can go purchase it now, just in time for the holidays. In Santa Special Delivery, it's a kind of old school style arcade game where you play as Santa Claus delivering gifts to all the good boys and girls. But the bad boys, girls, and other, because not everybody is male or female. Delivering gifts to everyone. The bad ones, of course, get coal, but what do you do with the really, really bad ones? Well, obviously, you shit down their chimney. So that's exactly what the game is. There are stages where you go through and you deliver the gifts and you deliver coal, and there's a mini game in between each stage where you pop a brown one down the really, really bad people's chimneys.
Nice. It looks really cool. It looks like one of those games that gets hard toward the end. Is it difficult?
It gets very difficult. It's more like an old school arcade game.
Okay. So
there is no ending. You just play it until you can't anymore.
Oh, nice.
So it's good and cheap, $2.99 on Steam.
Cool.
Available now, and just in time for the holidays. Play it with your family. It's friendly.
Yeah.
I'll say my nieces, who aren't even 10, adore this game.
Okay. Nice. That's awesome. Fire this one up for Grandma for sure. Bring the Steam Deck over for holidays.
You know what it's about.
That's awesome. What is coming up for, aside from obviously Runic, what else is coming up for Drunk Robot in the future?
So we're actually working on a few other things right now. We got a couple horror games in production, which I'll be ready to talk about here in the coming months. They'll actually be our first Unreal titles as we're migrating from Unity to Unreal. I also run another studio called Cerulean Games, and with them we're doing a bunch of console ports for a lot of other big companies like Puppet Combo and others that haven't been announced yet, but we got a lot going on.
You got a lot going on.
Stay busy. I'm trying to think if actually is anything else.
Yeah.
I think we're good there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that sounds great. Where can we find you online?
Online, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram under RedVonix, RedVonix. You can find Drunk Robot Games on Twitter or Instagram under Drunk Robot Games. If you happen to be a company who's looking for somebody who can port games to all platforms at once inexpensively and has done it a ton of times, that you're going to be looking for Cerulean Games on Twitter or Instagram. And you can just reach out to me. I'm friendly. I don't bite that hard unless you want me to.
Awesome. Well, we will put your tags down below. Thank you so much for talking with me.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Have a great con.
You do the same.